Welcome today to Cooking with Friends. I'm Bev Lenahan here with my husband Phil, and we're going to make Irish soda bread. We know there's a special day coming up, St. Patrick's Day, so we thought it might be fun to show what we do every year. It's a ritual to make Phil's Irish soda bread. He's had this in the family for a long time. He'll probably tell you more about that. But it's a family tradition, and we hope that you'll enjoy this and maybe think about making your own soda bread. So here we go. We're starting out with 3 bowls, one of which is going to be our baking bowl to put our bread in. So we've lightly sprayed that with a cooking spray. And then we're going to assemble our dry ingredients. Phil, do you want to take this?
Yes, got it.
Thank you. So the first thing that we have for our dry ingredients are 4 cups of regular all-purpose flour. That goes into our big bowl here. I've always ascribed to the dip, level, pour method, which means it's not always exact, but it's close enough. So in go the four cups, and next we'll have sugar. So let me get this last one. Phil's a chemist, so an engineer by trade, so he measures everything precisely. I'm not quite that precise, but they usually turn out pretty well anyway. So that's enough with that. And then for our sugar, we have a half a cup of sugar, and just plain white sugar goes right in that bowl. Some people sift the flour. We don't sift the flour, and it doesn't seem to make any difference. And then our next ingredient is a teaspoon of salt. Do you like my sous chef? I do. So, teaspoon of salt, just regular salt. And then next comes a teaspoon of baking powder. So we're all set here with our baking powder. Okay. And then caraway seeds, one of the most important secret ingredients. And I think we need 2 tablespoons of caraway seeds. I like caraway seeds, so I'm generous.
How we
with
doing?
those. It's looking like little ants in there. Oh, goodness.
I hope not.
And then we take a quarter cup, well, let's see, do we put in the
raisins?
The raisins first, and these have been lightly floured. There's 2 cups of lightly floured raisins. We sprinkle those in, and then we give those a stir. Just a light stir to get everything kind of mixed together. Doesn't take too long. And then our next ingredient, which is the other sort of secret ingredient, is the quarter cup of margarine, or you could use butter. What else have you used, Phil?
I always use margarine.
It seems.
It doesn't say in the recipe I'm allowed to use anything else.
So here we are, following the family recipe. Whoever knows whether that's really needed or not. So the margarine.
Oh, I'm going to use that.
Okay, sous chef. The margarine we've pre-measured, a quarter cup, and we just dollop that into our bowl here. And then we have a pastry. Well, you know what I mean. Where we can cook our flour together and get our butter all crumbled together. Or you could use the 2-knife approach, where you use it like scissors and cut with them. What we're going to be doing is making a fine meal here, like a coarse cornmeal.
Where's that?
It's right there, babe.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so.
Give a quick example of the knives, and then we'll finish with this.
Okay, so you could use it like scissors and just start cutting across the margarine into the flour like this. Or you can use the pastry. I forget what this is called.
It's called 2 knives.
It's called 2 vertical knives, I guess, or horizontal. And you just make sure that you're mixing this so that it gets nice and mixed together, making sort of a coarse meal. And then we'll be adding our wet ingredients. So that's looking pretty good. I think we'll just give it a couple more stirs here. You can begin to see it's getting a little mealy, like coarse cornmeal. And then our next ingredient is going to be our wet ingredients, and we're going to put them all in a bowl first. So first we have,
This is the two, what are the two wet ingredients?
yes, so we have 1 1/3 cups of buttermilk,
Right.
have a pour, and then 1 egg and a
Right.
teaspoon of baking soda. So
Okay.
those go in the wet bowl. There. May I have that, please? I'll take the buttermilk,
There's the buttermilk.
okay,
And
into the bowl.
how much of
1 egg, please.
1 egg?
Mm-hmm. And then we need baking soda after that, a teaspoon of baking soda. That's the other magic ingredient that works really well with the buttermilk and makes it,
And we will
Fluffy.
lightly.
oh yeah, I'll take the fork and we'll kind of lightly beat the egg. It doesn't say to,
It
but
says don't light, but it seems silly not to mix it a
we'll
little
just,
bit.
yeah, mix these just together a little bit. And into our wet bowl,
Teaspoon.
and then we need
That's a teaspoon of,
over there.
there it is.
Huh?
It's
So-
a teaspoon of baking soda,
Yep,
not to be confused with anything
not
else.
to be confused with anything else, because that would not be good. So then in goes our,
Pop that in.
and we'll mix that together. Make sure that it's all mixed well. And then this wet ingredients go into the dry ingredients. I always sort of do it in a circle like that. And then we mix these together. You can see, and I usually push the flour in from the side. It seems to make less of a mess than if I go right down the middle. So again, it's all incorporating. It's getting to be kind of mushy, but pretty soon it will get to a consistency where we can put it out on a lightly floured board and be able to mix that together. The next phase is sort of taking the dough and kneading it a little bit before it goes in the bowl in the oven. So you can see it's getting much more incorporated. We've got less flour to be dealing with and much incorporate there. So now, Phil, I know what you used to do when you'd get a little perturbed with me. You'd make soda bread and you'd just have your way with this
Whack it. I used to
dough, right?
punch it.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, this is looking pretty much ready to pour out onto a lightly floured board, and then we're going to knead it just slightly. Oh dear. Okay. Well, this is looking pretty much ready to pour out onto a lightly floured board, and then we're going to knead it just slightly.
Okay,
So-
we're gonna move to our next station.
Okay, we'll move to our next station, and we'll show you what the next step is. We're so glad you joined us. This is fun.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm taking this section of the cooking lesson, sort of lesson, and I will knead this and take it down and then get it into the bowl for the oven. So
And Bev will clean up.
and that will clean up. I don't usually clean up. Okay, so we have, it's moist. It's not completely mixed yet. So it's moist. And I know I should not have worn a dark sweatshirt because I already have flour all over the bottom part of it. Okay, here we go. Now, where's the flour? I need some flour for my hands.
The flour.
Yes.
You need just a little bit on your hands.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
That's good. Okay, so here we go. We're not gonna really knead this like you need a loaf of bread. We're just gonna get it consistent, and it stays rather coarse.
That's why we chose the Muscle Man for this part.
Yeah, Beth, when Beth makes it, she puts it in the blender.
I use my KitchenAid mixer to
Yes.
do all this,
Yes,
but that wouldn't be sort of traditional, so.
it's not on the recipe, so I'm sorry. I wouldn't use it.
Almost
Get
there.
that moisture. Get it moist so you don't want pieces of flour in the bread.
Almost
Get
there.
that moisture. Get it moist so you don't want pieces of flour in the bread. And there's some more down at the bottom. Get some more.
Mixing it.
And what you want is the steam to get out rather than have it explode in a.
It's not a pretty sight if it explodes.
It won't exactly explode, but it'll let the steam out at its own lines of stuff.
And see how he's sort of forming it in that bowl shape already? And then he just plops it in the bowl, so to speak.
So to speak.
That's a so to speak. Oh, good. Soda bread, so to speak.
Ha ha ha.
And that's a technical term, right?
Yes.
Plop.
Okay. How about never mind.
So we're going to make a thick X on the bread, about 1/8 of an inch deep, and about 1/4 inch from the edges of the bread.
And we're using a metric knife.
Whatever little knife you have. Okay, now it's ready to pop in the oven.
And I want to move the camera. And Bev's going to now take it over to the oven, which is, let me check here, at
375.
375.
Perfect. In it goes.
And it goes, and we'll see you in 1 hour and 10 minutes.
Be happy, bread.
Okay, here we are.
Looks like it's not quite an hour and
No.
10 minutes,
Well, we never can tell.
but close, right?
Yes.
So
So
you gotta
I'll hold
check it.
it, and you'll just put the probe and take it out and look at it and see that there's nothing sticking to it.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, give it a stick.
Beautiful. Yep, all clean.
Okay, stand aside.
Here it comes.
Here it is. Now it's going to rest for
30 minutes.
about 30 minutes before we then slice the piece off and see how delicious it is.
So we can
So-
turn the oven off.
We can turn, yes, we can turn the oven off. Yes.
And the timer.
And the timer.
All right. Good.
Okay. So we'll be back in 30 minutes. See you in
See
a
you
minute.
then. Okay, Phil, this sure looks yummy.
Well, let's find out.
Slides out pretty easily
Yes, it does.
from that bowl that's been sprayed
I'll set this aside.
for the cleaning person to take over. Me? Oh boy, he's gonna slice into this. It sure looks good. So you have to get the angle just right.
Well, our guests have to be able to see it.
Got the butter all waiting, and we usually have the first slice on a napkin because we're so anxious to have some. So we don't actually sit down.
Oh, does that look good?
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Woo-wee. Look at all those raisins in there. Happy, happy. Of course, we can't see the caraway seeds, but we know they're happy. Delicious. My mouth's watering, Phil. Oh, yummy, yum, yum.
And we will have recipes, copies of the recipe available. They'll also be on our little tray outside our door. Carla will have some, and I think she'll put it on the intranet.
Mhm.
Well, let's see how it turned out.
I got my napkin ready. Okay, here we go. Oh boy, that looks so good, Phil. Mm. 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 Mm.
This is great for breakfast.
It's nice and crunchy on the outside and just so beautiful inside. Moist. Delicious. I'm not supposed to talk with my mouth full, I know. But yum, yum, yum.
Well, let me see how it turned out.
There's your napkin.
I don't use napkins.
Bill never needs a napkin. Mmm. Delicious.
Memories of many St. Patrick's Day past.
Absolutely. Good family memories. And Phil mentioned it's good for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just toast mine ever so lightly, and it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
But we thank you for being with us today. This has been
Yeah.
so much fun for us. We hope it has been for you. Irish soda bread, the Lenihan way. Thank
That's
you.
right. Thank you. We'll see you in the halls someday. Bye now.
Take care.
As they say, fade to black.